Hello everyone, today we are going to go through Happy Ladybug, which is a program under implementation section of algorithm on HackerRank. So without wasting time, let us have a look on the problem statement. So in this problem, we receive as input a given string that can be represented as an array of characters, and then the string is consists of uppercase letter and underscores. And what we are supposed to do here is that we are supposed to find out if we can make the given string, I would say, happy. What does that mean exactly? An element or a character of the string is happy if the element directly in front of him or the element directly beside him is the same to him, like is equal to him. That means if he's around one of the element which is exactly him, and then in a single move you can move a given letter or a given character to an empty space. Now, given those two conditions, can we transform a given input to make it happy, or we can't? So that is the purpose of this problem. If we can transform, then we'll return yes, otherwise we'll return no. That is a clear explanation of what we are supposed to do. Now, given that, how are we going to organize ourselves to achieve that? What are the elements or the situation that can lead us to, okay, we can have a happy output or not? Okay, so let me take it this way. What we can see is that if we have at least one underscore, for sure we are able to transform our input in any other, like we are able to mix the element as we want. What does that mean exactly? Let me have an example. Let's say I have this input. Let's even take this one. Okay, let's say I'm having this input. This is an input. Because I have an underscore here, I can guarantee you that this input can be transformed into this. Since we are sure of this, what we will do is that, okay, we can go with the idea of, if we have any underscore in our input, what we are going to do is that we are just going to check if we don't have any lonely letter. If we have an underscore and there is no lonely letter, let me write it down here so we can go with the same. Like, okay, if there is at least one underscore, sorry, if there's only one underscore and there is no lonely letter, then it is a yes. If the input is happy, then it is a yes. So those are the two conditions that can lead us to a yes. If you don't satisfy any of those two conditions, then it is a no. So now let us write the code that will help us to have the result, because we already know our two conditions. If the input is happy, then we say we return yes. If the input contains at least one underscore and then there is no lonely letter, we return yes, and otherwise we return no. Now let us code. So to make it easy for me, what I will do is that I will create a letter. I will create an array that will contain the list of the various characters, and then the number of occurrence of each of the elements. So the array index 0 will reflect the number of elements of A, index B will represent the number of occurrence of B, and so on. So for that, I will have to create a vector here, a vector of int that will say, okay, I will carry occurrence, and since I know that it's only uppercase letter, I will keep it this way, 26 letter. There we go, we are good. For that, after that, what I needed is I just need to have two boolean, like I have to have boolean that will keep the happy. Initially it is happy, and then I will have a boolean that will keep the underscore, that initially will say, okay, there's no underscore, And then after this I need to create a loop. So the loop will go to, this is my loop, and then in the loop, what am I doing? What I'm saying, what I will be saying is that, okay, if b of I, right, if the element is actually not an underscore, because I don't care about underscore now, I want to check the if you are lonely, so you need to be a letter, so you don't need to be underscore if you're not underscore first. And the next thing is if you're different from the guy just before you, if b of I is actually different from b of I minus 1, and then you're different from the guy in front of you if b of I is different from b of I plus 1. If you're different from the, if you're not underscore and you're different from the guy before you and the guy next to you, then you're not happy. So we are going to say happy will take false. Now we are going to say next thing is if b of I is actually an underscore. What we are going to say, this is double equal. If you underscore, what we are going to say, we are going to say underscore will take false. We take true instead, so we have underscore. Sorry. Nice. And then if you're not an underscore, then we can count you the occurrence. So we are going to say occurrence of b of I minus a, capital A, plus plus. What does that mean exactly? If it is a minus a is 0. If it is b minus a will give you 1. So you will kind of say, it will make, okay, the index 0 will correspond to a, index 1 will correspond to b, and so on until the end. So at the end of this, we can directly try to apply those conditions. If happy, then we can just say return yes. Nice. Now here we can say if underscore, that is the second condition. If there's an underscore, and we will find, so we are going to find in the occurrence, right? If arg.begin, comma arg.end, comma 1 is actually equal to arg.end, sorry, to arg.end, then we return yes. What does it mean exactly? If there's an underscore and then finding 1 return you arg.end, that means there is no 1, then we return yes, and otherwise we just return no. So this is actually the approach we are going to use, but this is not going to work exactly, because you see here we are moving from 0 to b dot size, and then we are trying to access element minus 1 and element plus 1. That means if we are element 0, accessing element e minus 1 will actually give index out of range, and that is something you don't want, because it will actually make you fail. So basically, when you have an input like this, the first element, you don't want to compare the first element. The first element you just want to compare with the element next to him, and the last element you want to compare to the element directly before him. So to achieve that easily, we can start, in fact we can transform our input. We can say, okay, B will take, you can make it as you want, you can give anything you want. Me, I will go with 0. I will go with 0. So you just need to give him something which is not an uppercase letter, to make sure that the check with the left will always be false, and then the meaningful check will just be the one directly next to him. And then here you can start with 1, and then here you can end with b minus 1. B minus 1. So what does that mean exactly? If I have an input like this, let's say b b b b a a b b, so I'll add 0 here, it will transform into this. And then when he will want to check this one, he will check with this, the left and then the right. The 0 just to make us not be out of range, because the really one that is really meaningful is the one to the right. And then when we are going to be at the second element, the meaningful check is the left hand and the right. And when we are on the last one, the interesting check is only with this though, so there is no issue if the other one is failing. Yeah, that's the idea. And then yeah, so this is my approach of solving this. I hope you do enjoy it. Let us run and see what it gives. We have everything green. Let us submit. Everything green, everything perfect. So this was my approach of solving this. I hope you do enjoy it. Feel free to leave me a message in the comment section if you want us to exchange about anything related to this. See you on the next video. Ciao.